We'll start with modal verbs. So previously what we learnt about verbs was there were two types of verbs. One were strong verbs and one were weak verbs.
Weak verbs, yeah.
Just a minute. Weak verbs. Now that was like they were following the rules of conjugation, like ich kaufe, du kaufst, sie es kauft. Yeah, those rules they were following.
Yes.
And these strong verbs were not following the rules. Not following the rules. I mean, there may be some deviation in their conjugations. Now, there is a third type of verb category which is known as modal verbs. So, what these modal verbs are? These are like in English we say should, yeah,
Yes.
or maybe like must. There are so many, these are all kind of auxiliary verbs which add some meaning to the sentence, which gives some additional sense to the sentence. Normally, modal verbs give two type of meaning to a sentence. One is they express. One of them is kind of a necessity, right? So
Okay.
it could be something like something is necessary, like must, for example. This you must do. I must go. We must do this, or maybe like should. Like we should do this. This is should maybe like it's kind of a optional, but must is something which has to be done at all cases.
Yes.
The third is like we want to. Like I want to go to Berlin, or I want to work more, something like that. So it's kind of a necessity. And the other thing that they express is possibility. Okay. So possibility could be like can. I can go there. I can run. I can swim. Like this. These are all possibilities. Or it could be allowed to. Like you are allowed to. You are not allowed to sleep when you are in class. For example.
Yeah.
There's somebody. Just a moment. So this is the possibility. You are allowed to, you are not allowed to. This is another possibility. Now, one more thing which is possible is I like to. I like to drink beer, for example. I like to drink tea. So these are all possibilities. So now there are many modal verbs, close to 7 I believe, but not all are important. What we are going to focus upon is for this must, there is a modal verb called müssen. For should is sollen, want is wollen, can will be können, allowed to will be dürfen, and like to would be mögen. Okay. Just a moment. M-O-G-E. Mögen. Right? And this is further conjugated to möchten. So we will talk about this later on. So as you see, invariably there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one is the 7. So there are 7 modal verbs that we need to know. We need to know in detail. All right. A very important thing is when we use a modal verb, the main verb shifts to the sentence. I'll take a few examples. I must go now, right? So we will talk in detail later on. But when we use must, so immediately what things should come in mind is müssen, right? So now müssen is the infinitive form of modal verb. I mean, we will talk it on later on. But when we use in the first person, it becomes muss. So here the sentence will be Ich muss nun gehen. Okay. So as you see, when we use a modal verb, the main verb goes to the end. Just a moment. So as you see, when we use a modal verb, I must go now. So this must becomes muss here, and then the main verb, which is the actual verb in the sentence, goes to the end. This is a striking difference between English and German here. I must go now. You see, this modal verb is there in English as well, but the main verb is just next to modal verb. But once you convert to German language and you use a modal verb, this main verb will go to the end. This is a very important factor that you must always remember. We will talk in detail later on also. Don't worry about this. I'll take one more example. Let's say in English I say he can swim. Right. Now, the moment you see can, the first thing in German that you should remember is its counterpart, which is können. Where is it? Yeah, here you see can and is können. So here the moment you see it would be air. Now for können, the first person will be the conversion will be
Kunst.
Kannst. Air kannst. Yeah, right. Air kannst. And then comes schwimmen. Right? So again you see, once I use a modal verb, the main verb goes to the end. That is most important. This is kind of a rule wherein I, to the best of my information, I find no exception to this rule. It's always followed. Right? Now,
Siddhant, sorry. It should be Erkan. It's not
ich
Kunst.
kann, du kannst, RGS can't. Just a moment. Ich kann, du kannst, RGS kann. Yeah. Right. Let me write down. Ich kann, du kannst, RGS kann. Yeah, right. RGS kann. You're right. So, ich kann schwimmen. Er kann schwimmen. Simple. Now, as you see, in most of the cases, we will be using a verb as well, because this is going to show some possibility or some sort of necessity. However, if I say, I like pizza, right? So here, you see, the moment you see this like, you can straight away switch over to mögen or möchten. That will take later on. But here it will become Ich mag pizza. Now there is no verb at all. You see, I like pizza. Or maybe you can say, if you convert it to möchten, then you can say Ich möchte Pizza essen. So here a verb is definitely there and it comes at the end. But here in this case, Ich mag pizza, there is no verb at all. So, I mean, if you don't find any verb to be used in a sentence, that's okay. But in case if there is a verb which has to be used in a sentence and you are using modal verbs, then that verb has to come in the end. That is the most important thing. Alright, so these were the two rules that I just wanted to tell you. In fact, one rule only. So we will now understand the meaning and usage of each and every verb, modal verb. So let's start with this table. I will keep on populating this table. So I'm trying to make it as readable as possible. This here I'll be writing the English meaning, and let's say I write with Myogen. Okay, and here I will be writing Ich bin, du bist, er, sie, es. Then comes wir, ihr, and Zizi. Alright. So I hope you remember, na friends? I will just a moment. Just give me a quick moment. I hope you remember. Let's say if I were to conjugate, I'm going to conjugate the verb, and let's say if I use kaufen, which is a typical verb, to buy. So ich kaufe, du kaufst, es kauft, wir kaufen, ihr kauft, sie kaufen. I hope you all remember these conjugations, right, friends?
Yes.
That's great. So likewise, in the same pattern, we are going to conjugate all the modal verbs now. So let me just erase this stuff. Then it becomes ich muss.
Ich muss trinken Wasser. Nein, Wasser trinken.
Yeah, Wasser trinken.
Yes. Ich muss Wasser
Wasser
trinken.
trinken.
Absolutely right. Two things to note here. The verb goes at the end
And
always in the infinitive.
infinitive form. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely right. So you're now getting the topic well. Now I say I must clean teeth every day. Now, okay, let's forget every day. I must clean teeth. So clean for knowledge, for information is putzen, and teeth is zahana. Tell me, friends, what do you think?
Ich
muss Sahne putzen.
You are absolutely right. Ich muss Zahne putzen.
Yeah.
Z-A-H-N-E. Putzen. Absolutely perfect, right? Now I take one more example. We must go now. Just for information, go becomes gehen and now becomes nun. Tell me, friends, what do you think?
Wir müssen nun gehen.
Yes. Now, friends, just want to emphasize here, when we are speaking musin, so we have to make sure it is musin, because here is an umlaut. Wir müssen nun gehen. Okay, so this umlaut becomes a differentiator. It is musin, right? I'm thinking upon some more examples now. Let's say somebody instructs you, you must work, right? So work is arbeiten. I will request one by one now. So let's see who are the participants: Chetan, Raghu, and Gitanjali. Okay, so Gitanjali, I would like to ask you, What do you think this should become now?
Du musst arbeiten.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Just let me check. Do see here. This we need to remember. Where is that table? Once you remember this table, things will be very easy. Do becomes must. Okay. So here it will become. Where is that sentence? Yeah. Hello, Gitanji, you're mute.
Ja, du musst arbeiten.
Nicht must.
Nicht musst.
This is must. Right? Must is different, which is actually does not exist. So here it will be du musst arbeiten. Okay. Now to Chetan now a question. He must sleep. Sleep means schlafen. Chetan, can you frame this sentence?
Muss schlafen.
Er
Muss.
must.
No, it's muss, right?
Let me check. Let me quickly check. Yeah, absolutely right. Er muss. You are absolutely correct. Er muss schlafen. Okay. Now to Raghu, let me think upon a sentence. Let's say I am a boss, or maybe I am a kind of a principal of a school, and I'm talking to small kids, and I'm saying, you all must study. Study becomes learning. So, Raghu, can you please try?
Do
Yeah.
for all what we will say.
Sorry, I did not point out here only. See,
Dizzy.
wait. Now you need to be a little more.
Yes. Correct. Yeah. Sorry.
Technical no. You
Exactly.
need to emphasize upon something. I am the big boss. I am the principal of the school, and I'm talking to small children, right? So I'm kind of authoritative. So what happens? This form changes to ear.
Yeah. Sorry. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. Sometimes it's always confusing. Ear means when I'm talking to either a group of people who are of my same age or they are of some junior age to me, right? So now ear becomes mused. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So now tell me what it should be.
Ear mused learning.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Ear mused lernen. Lernen. Absolutely right. So you see, friends, sometimes there will be some tricky situations when you have to use the correct form of this ear or personal pronouns. Now, a tip here, friends, 2-cent tip. This is the bulb that glows when I give a tip. There are two verbs which are very similar to each other. One is lernen and one is studieren.
That's what I wanted to ask. Okay, good.
Yeah. So what happens when we see the word study, we simply get into mind that we should use studieren, which is a wrong usage. Now, when to use what? Lernen is used to study. First of all, make sure that I am studying means ich lerne. Yeah. Now, so when do I use studieren? Because studieren is also a valid verb. So what happens when you are studying in kind of university sort of thing? What is this? Sorry. This is kind of a university wherein it's an organization. right? So here you are studying now. This is a university or kind of a college. So if you go to a college or you are doing some educational degree, there you are studieren. Ich studiere dann. Ich studiere means I am studying in a college. I am learning in a college, you can say. So then it is used when you are associated with any degree or any college or any institute. But once you are only sitting on a table and you are reading a book or you are learning through a book, then you will say ich lerne, right? So that's a 2-cent tip. Okay, going ahead. Now a little tricky one, which is actually very easy to use, but we are not very used to it in English language, and that is dürfen. Dürfen means allowed to. Okay. So first let me quickly tell you the conjugation, then I'll tell the details of this modal verb. Just a moment. Yeah. So it becomes ich darf, du darfst, RGS again become darf. Wir dürfen. Ihr becomes dürft. Sie become dürfen. Now probably in English language there is no one-to-one conversion of dürfen. This is I would like to tell you now. Let's say this is a person and he got a cigarette in his hand. And he is asking somebody that, am I allowed to smoke here or not? Just a moment. He wants to ask a question. This is a question. Am I allowed to smoke? Yeah, SMOKE. So the sentence that he is supposed to ask is, or the question that he is supposed to post is, darf ich hier rauchen? Darf ich hier rauchen? Rauchen bedeutet to smoke a cigarette. And definitely there will be a question mark again, because he is posting a question, right? So darf ich hier rauchen? Let's say this is a door and this is a lock, and I have a chabi, kind of a Schlüssel, and I tried to open this door, but it is not opening, right? So that means ich darf nicht, NICHT. That is, I am not allowed to go inside, for example. So ich darf nicht. You're getting my point, friends? There is no English counterpart for this word. Yeah, there is a group of words which makes the same sentence or same sense, but darf itself means that whether you are allowed or you are not allowed to, right? One more example, which is quite uncommon. Let's say, one more example I want to tell you. Let's say there is a small kid and he is talking over telephone to somebody, right? Now let's say this kid is talking to mother of some other kid, mother of some friend, let's say, right? I'm just giving you an example how a situation may look like in your real lives as well. This is a kid who is talking to mother of some friend, and this kid with his parents is going for a picnic. Right? They are all going for a picnic. Okay. So this kid is calling the mother of some friend and he is telling that, let's say his daughter known as Lena. So this kid is telling that Lena can also come with us for the picnic. Getting my point? I'll just repeat. This is the kid and his parents and these all three guys are going for a picnic, and this kid is calling the mother of Lena and wants to tell that Lena may also come with us for the picnic. So he can straight away say Lena darf, then it will be Lena darf, yeah, mit uns kommen. Okay, so you see friends, darf is not always used for a question. It is for a sentence also. That is, this kid initiated the phone call to the mother of Lena and he is telling that Lena can also come with us. So he will say Lena darf mit uns kommen. This is not a question. This is just a sentence that he is telling to mother of Lena. And then mother of Lena will say, oh, very nice, thank you. She will definitely come or she will not come, whatever it may be. So this is just a usage of darf. So taking a few examples now. Any questions, friends? Any doubt or something? Please break me anytime. Yeah. Now talking about our class. This class, what we are studying right now or learning right now. You are not allowed to sleep in this class. Okay, so if I were to say this in German, it becomes any guess. Let me give you some hints. This you know it right now. Sleep is schlafen and class becomes Unterricht. Any wild guesses, friends? Try it.
Du nicht darf.
First of all, what happens, this modal verbs comes at the second place. That's again one thing I probably forgot to tell you. Modal always comes at the second place. If not always, then in most cases, second place.
So du darf nicht.
Yes. Du darf, du becomes darfst nicht, yeah.
Du darf nicht. Okay, hallo. To schlafe in the class. Schlaf. Okay, I think sleep will come at the end in the class.
Yeah.
Nicht und Unterricht.
Schlafen comes at the end. That you are absolutely right. Du darf nicht.
I can't form sentence for in the.
No, in the class is in Unterricht. In is the common in German and English.
Okay, so du darf nicht in Unterricht schlafen.
Yes. Du darf nicht in Unterricht schlafen. Perfect sentence. Right? Now, let's say this is a swimming pool which is not very deep. So somebody, he's a professional diver and wants to dive deep into it. So there is a sentence, there is a signboard which says, you are not allowed to dive deep. Okay, so hint-wise, that is hint, to dive is tauchen, deep is tief. So tell me, what do you think? Just try it.
Sie dürfen.
Okay, okay, you are talking in respect forms, na?
Ja.
That's fine. Sie dürfen.
Sie dürfen nicht tauschen. Type.
See, tauchen will come at the end, so you can put it in the last sentence, last place.
Okay, so type tauchen.
Yeah, tief.
Okay, tief.
Absolutely right. Du darfst nicht, T-I-E-F, tief tauchen. Absolutely perfect sentence. 100 by 100.
See, it's two dive. Don't we have a sentence for two, or have a word for?
I didn't get that.
No, taufen itself becomes a two dive, right?
No, where is two times?
No, it's
No.
two dive.
He said two dive.
To dive is to tauchen.
Yeah. Do we need to use two in the?
No. Actually, let's say to dance becomes tanzen, right?
Oh, okay.
To purchase becomes kaufen, right? So this two is included in the verb. To smoke is equal to rauchen.
Okay.
Simple, yeah. To drink is trinken.
Trinken.
Simple, right? Right. So I see that you guys are now, grasping the concept and you are able to make the sentences also. Yeah. Great. Any other example I can think of? Okay, I'll give you one more example, which is a little different. Till now, we are using sentences, simple sentences, that you are not allowed to dive, you are not allowed to smoke. But what if I am asking a question, which I took earlier also, am I allowed to sing? For example, okay, to sing a song. So just to tell you, I mean, instead of making any wild guesses, darf ich singen? Okay, now here you see darf is used as the first place, right? It is not ich darf singen, which will be absolutely wrong. So what I mean to say, when you are asking a question, then this modal verb comes at the first place. Just for example, any other example I can think of? No, other than that. Okay, we will take up können and sollen later on. So there I'll be able to make some questions. So then I'll tell you this concept later on. Okay. Going ahead now, we are, where is that main chart? Yeah, it is here. Yes. So friends, now we have done a few of them. That is, out of 7, we have done 4. So let me, actually 3 are left over, and I don't want to, overload you guys. So just to give you a hint, we will take it up later tomorrow. We will take up können, and we will take up sollen, and we will take up wollen. Okay, just to give a hint what this guys actually means is können is can. Okay, typical, can I sleep now? So the same can becomes können. Sollen is should. should I sing now? So becomes sollen, and wollen is to want. Wir wollen, was soll ich sagen? I want to eat chocolate. So ich will Schokolade essen. So this is to want, right? So I will take up these 3 points later on tomorrow, and there I'll be making some questions as well. The one that I just said, that we will take up that framing questions wherein this modal verb comes at the beginning. So let me just quickly erase. I would request you people to take a screenshot here. Just a moment. Yeah. So yeah, here we go. Yeah. So I request you guys, please take a screenshot here and try to remember this chart. I mean, we will populate 3 more columns tomorrow, and these are some things. There are very little things in German that you need to learn by heart. One of them is this also. Previously also I told you some stuff which you took the screenshots. This also take a screenshot and try to remember this by heart. Yeah, because these stuff will be used more than often. Throughout your journey in German language, now you will be facing these sentences, these modal verbs in many situations of life. Okay. So any questions, any doubts, friends, by now, till now? Because today was an entirely new topic and will be kind of overwhelming for everybody.
No, actually, it's easy and it's clear now. But I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you please switch to like Lina darf mit uns kommen?
What is it?
There are 3 kids in the pic.
Did you see that cartoon somewhere? No. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, tell me.
Here, maybe for example, I mean, it's quite confusing me because it's like a question also. May Lina come with us?
See what happened in this situation that I posted here now. This small guy has called up the mother of that lady, of Lina, and this guy is telling her that she is allowed to come with us.
Yeah, so I mean, he's telling Lina may come with us.
Yes, she's allowed to come with us. Although mother had never asked her before that can Lina come to you or can Lina go with your picnic, something like that, nothing. But in German language, see, there is a difference between English and German, and this is one of kind of 90-100. That is, there is a slight difference between German and English. That here, this small kid is calling the mother of Lina and telling that she is allowed to come with us. Normally in English, when we use allowed to, is when this person has already called and requested whether my daughter can come with you or not. But it is not always the same in German language, right?
Okay, but maybe for example, if it's a question, if this guy is asking the mother of Lina, can she come with us? So how the question will change then?
Yes.
Change like darf Lina mit uns kommen?
No. It will be see what happens. These people have initiated the picnic, right? So if this mother asks this guy, then she will say, is Lina allowed to come with you, or darf Lina mitkommen, or something like that. But here in this case, what has happened? These guys have initiated the picnic and they are inviting this Lina. So alternatively, in English, what we normally say is Lina can come with us. Come with us. But in German language, it may be used the other way out also. Lina is allowed to come with us. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a cultural difference, or you can say a language difference between English and German. There is not one-to-one comparison possible. This is just a situation I gave. I mean, we normally don't encounter such situations, but just I wanted to explain you that DARF can be used in such situations also.
Okay, but no, I mean, for me, the confusing thing is like, for example, these three guys called Lena's mother, and they want to ask Lena's mother,
Hmm.
can she come with us? So,
Huh.
or
It's
can
not request. It's not request.
Yeah. In that case, they can use the other verb that is können.
okay, but sometimes in English also we say right, like, is she allowed to come with us?
See, first of all, there will be a kind of a question from both sides. Are these guys allowing Lena to go with her, go with them? And there is a question from mother side also. Is mother allowing Lena to go with these guys? So this is kind of a little complex situation or confusing situation. But
Yeah.
normally in German, in such situations, they will use the same sentence that Lena is allowed to come with us, irrespective of the answer of mother side. But Lena is allowed. Now it is up to mother whether she will allow Lena to send or not.
Okay, it is not a question; it is just a
Yeah,
statement.
it's just a statement, right? Maybe this kid is asking many of friends, and he's just probing whose mother allows, and that friend will come with them then.
Okay, yeah.
So this is just a situational example. Instead of going for a theoretical example, I prefer to take up a practical example.
Yeah. And in office also, when we speak in English, right? Usually they use allowed, right? They will say you are allowed to come,
Yes.
right? So when I never ask them whether I am allowed or not, but they will say that you are allowed to come. You can come. That's what they meant.
Yes.
But always they will use allowed to come.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's true because their statement will not be clear. They'll say you are allowed to come. Like, it's confusing. Are they inviting us or are they just informing us?
That's true. That's true. I'll tell you one more example. If you go to DM or maybe Roseman, I don't remember, DM or Roseman, you see na, in the next to the shelter, that is the lady who sits at the counter and billing it, there is a small counter there which holds all electronic scrap. Electronic scrap. This is normally like LED bulbs or any small electronic things. So once I found a kind of a electronic LED bulb with lights, that rotating lights. That was quite a fascinating one, and that was dumped in the scrap. So I thought like I'll pick it up and I'll try to see what's inside this, because for long I was thinking upon buying this stuff. So when I saw this, I asked this lady, this is me, and I asked this lady, can I take this with me? Right? Can I take this with me? Right? Which in this situation, later on, I understand is a wrong question. It should be, am I allowed to take this with me? Am I allowed to take this with me? Right? Because what happens, because we are so used to English, the first thing that comes to my, of course I was talking in German only, so I simply asked, kann ich es mitnehmen? Right? So this is kind of a wrong sentence. Technically it is correct, but practically it is wrong. I should have asked, darf ich es mitnehmen? Right? So that is the difference between these two languages. That in German, when you are asking somebody, it's always better to use darf. If you are allowed, or if the second person can give you either yes or no answer, it's always better to say darf. And chances of getting a positive response is more here if you use darf as compared to as can. Right? Because in darf you are expecting a permission from the other person's side, and can is like I wish to take this, can I take this with me? So it's a little difference. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So any questions, friends, or any comments, any doubts? Then we'll wind up.
No comments from
No?
my side. No questions.
Great, great. Just think upon these situations more today, and tomorrow we will take up these three ones, which are actually the most important ones: Können, Sollen, and Wollen. I mean, these are most likely you will face every day in your official or your professional lives. Okay, so see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you, Sid.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.